Hi, I'm Tim Ard, and welcome to this edition of Along the Forest Apps Road. This episode, we're going to be discussing some differences in training. I want to start off to begin with stating that I listen quite often to a podcast from Mike Rowe of Dirty Jobs fame, and more or less, he has a podcast series out of The Way I Heard It. He has a deep background in training and understanding the actual hands-on work that takes place to run this country and industries and maintaining safety. If you were to ask people what is the difference in experience and formal training, they would probably say experience is the best training you can have. Getting out and doing it is definitely going to teach you things about the task at hand. Soren Eriksson always said that experience is the best teacher. However, he always finished that statement with, experience is a good teacher, but you have to remember there are two types of experiences, good and bad. You want to learn the good ones on your own and the bad ones from someone else, he used to say. It's usually a lot less painful that way. When it comes to storm cleanup, involving chainsaws and some other chainsaw operations too, is important we approach it with a basic knowledge or awareness and add to our experience level as we approach the task. To do this safely and successfully, any activity should start with a plan. So let's break this thought process into segments: knowledge and then training. It's my theory that knowledge is acquired over time. It's the level of experience that you're holding on in any given subject. It could be to a level of understanding, or it could be in application. I may have a full understanding of how to fly a plane, but I've never tried to take off or land. That's where training comes into play. Once I apply that knowledge, understanding, then I can consider myself a pilot. It could be the same time lapse between a known desire, the formulated plan, and the eventual execution of the plan to achieve success in the project. In other thoughts, training is often a process that begins with a plan and then continues until the plan is successful. I need to consider myself training until I can do a task without finishing below my planned expectations or success. Training is often where a teacher or mentor is brought in to speed up the process. Someone or something to offer a better or clearer understanding of the knowledge and can guide us through the application process to limit errors in the trial. Without a guide of some form, we're learning through trial and error, the seat of our pants. In equipment operations like the use of a chainsaw, regulations promote that the first form of training you should have is reading and understanding and applying the manufacturer's operator's manual. The manufacturer has compiled this information for the operator for an understanding of design, application, and safety. This provided manual should be your first knowledge of training. I ask groups about every week in chainsaw workshops to raise their hand if they have seen and read an owner's manual for the equipment they run. I often never get a raised hand. Why do you think this is? Some say they don't know where the manual is, but most, as with many things, feel we already know that information. We've been using or have observed someone using the tool, and that's the best training we can get. The next step might be to acquire a supervisor or mentor to help us achieve a clearer picture of the applications of the tool. Oh, that's expensive. So we need to get that part of training actually doing a job with the tool. The supervisor or mentor can overlook the job and correct and apply the tool properly in the task. This training process doesn't cost extra. Is it less expensive, or is it? Off-the-job training, are there any advantages? Formalized or off-the-job training for equipment operators can have its advantages. It enables a planned focus and direction of the knowledge information for the hands-on application. The environment is created instead of trying to learn in a situation requiring meeting a deadline or satisfy a customer or supervisor. Let's think again about the reasons that people don't read the operator's manual from the manufacturer. Maybe because some don't like to take time to read. They're busy with lots of work today. And next, it could be there's a lot of information they feel doesn't apply. Their knowledge is deemed to be above the information in the manual. Finally, some people are just not interested in being an equipment operator. They're uncomfortable with the equipment or have no desire to use it at home or on the job. With many topics relating to adult learning, I believe a 99-to-1 ratio in the presentation may be an important part in obtaining usable results. It breaks down to 99% motivation and 1% technique. Often the presenter or supervisor just doesn't impress the student. A lack of common sense approach by the instructor will turn a student off quickly. Then there's always the presenter or supervisor that is a know-it-all, their way or the highway. As Jerry Clower used to say, I can tell they are educated above their intelligence. I'd like to discuss with you a program for you or your equipment operators. Forest Applications Training Incorporated has workshops formatted for results in chainsaw applications, saw chain maintenance, and a very unique program in two-cycle troubleshooting for the operator of handheld power equipment. You can contact us at info@forestapps.com to discuss your training programs. So I want to say thank you for sitting in. I hope that you picked up something that you may be able to use in the future in your planning processes. Training is something that needs to be applied. It needs to be practiced in the job. And so as we start to look through the process of training, how do we do it best? Hope you picked up something there. I hope to see you along the Forest Apps Road. One podcast series I've been listening to for quite a while now involves Mike Rowe from the Dirty Jobs program from years ago. He has a podcast series called The Way I Heard It. He discusses a lot about how people are involved in the workplace and how important it is for people to be trained and to understand how much work goes into those different job situations. Training is a key. So please tell others about our series of podcasts and YouTube videos. And thanks for dropping by this episode of Along the Forest Apps Road. I'm Tim Ard. Good sawing.